my privilege to now invite our commencement speaker, Cheryl D. Miller, to address our graduates, their families, loved ones, and everyone else here at this special occasion. Please welcome Cheryl D. Miller.
Good morning, RISD. Indeed, you have been killing me softly with your love. Good morning again. I want to thank President Williams, the Board of Trustees, the Academy to which we serve, the Rhode Island School of Design, Family, and Friends gathered here together for this glorious occasion. It is an honor and a privilege, opportunity to speak before you today. For this, I thank you, and I am grateful, I'm humbled, and only the good Lord knows how appreciative I am. If my 1952 eyes haven't failed me, I hope I'm not mistaken. So let me be human. We have a very, very, very special guest here today. Director-producer Joshua, pull out your iPad, pull out your app. Rhode Island School of Design, unless this is a grand faux pas, my eyes caught the class of 1970. Would you please stand with your sign and RISD welcome the alumni class of 1970. I saw a blue sign. Class of 1970, when we were coming in, I saw you with a blue sign. Brian, there's your documentary. If it had not been for them, I would not be here. We're not suffocating in special collections. We are here. And every generation feels that they have invented the wheel. Well, we invented the wheel and we turned it. The class, we are the first demand. 1970. Class of 2022, class of 2020, I am proud of you and your fortitude in surviving as well as graduating from college through the pandemic. I'm not sure how you designed, sculpted, painted, made furniture, designed jewelry through pots, blue glass, via Zoom Classroom Studio, but you did. This commencement is particularly epic, iconic, and historic, as well as inaugural in so many and new and exciting ways. In particular, this is a full circle moment for me. I'm rounding up. I haven't been a part of the RISD community for now almost 52 years. From my 1970 freshman year now, it was the class of 70 that made sure I got here. From then to now, I think I'm the only student to take over 52 years to receive a degree from RISD. From beginning to end, it has taken 52 years. We are graduating here together today. Again, I thank everyone for bringing me home in a glorious and celebratory manner. With that said, I am on the alumni newsletter email list. Take notes, Director Joshua. I clicked open the alumni newsletter, and a link about the commencement traditions caught my attention. The link led me to a 1970 article about the design diploma. It's a tradition, a 50-year-old commencement tradition. The article memorialized the practice. It reported on RISD student demands for taking the $10,000 commencement fund and repurposing the budget for student protests, initiatives, strikes, and marches. Students from more than 300 colleges and universities went on strike because of the expansion of the Vietnam War into Cambodia and the death of 4 students at Kent State. Even today, our national student body is protesting for better gun control and against gun violence. What's the close of the civil rights era without a few student demands? And RISD students had their demands too. I'm old enough to have lived through all of this and young enough to tell you all about it. By 1970, I was graduating from high school, and by 1970, RISD's graduating class had already lived through an incredible coming-of-age story. Director Joshua. President Kennedy had been assassinated. The Civil Rights Act, Voting Rights Act, Malcolm X had been assassinated. The Miscegenation Act, we could not marry across races. MLK, Martin Luther King Jr., was assassinated. Bobby Kennedy was assassinated. The Vietnam War, Woodstock, and we still experience erasure. They want to call the Harlem Cultural Festival the Black Woodstock. No. Summer of Soul, it was the Harlem Cultural Festival. Man on the Moon. Man on the Moon, Kent State shootings, Pushpin Studio in New York City, Milton Glaser and Paul Rand became immortal. Well, right through all of this societal drama, which was not unlike our socio-political tension and cultural shifts we are experiencing today, except for COVID and monkeypox, I was a high school junior the months before Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, and my father called me into his library. I remember it like it was yesterday. So Cheryl, what are your plans for college? I thought to myself, I haven't really thought much about it, Papa. He could see I was bewildered. So Cheryl, go get a plan and come back with your plan. All I ever wanted to do was draw and paint. And coming up with a plan without academics wasn't going to go over very well. So I started researching, and I discovered art college. There it was, a bachelor's degree for Papa and art for me, a win-win plan. I discovered RISD. Well, Papa was a best kind of guy. Everything had to be the best of. So I was going to have to come up with the best art school in the whole wide world to apply to, or he wasn't going to go for it, and he wasn't going to pay for it. Well, without a Google search, I had no idea what I was walking into. And my 2022 Alumni News article from RISD Digital Commons, the archives failed to mention the other RISD student demands. Student demands that were taking place during 1970. I know now what I didn't know then. In 1969, Professor Stanley O'Yarin was a PhD scholar from Brown. He came down and taught Black history at RISD. The RISD student newsletter, the first, the Designer's News, May 1969 headline read, "Student group turns activist." You guys think you're the first ones to turn activists. The class of 1970, it was just a history class turned activists. The history class was demanding scholarships for Black students to attend RISD. By October 1969, Professor John Torres was hired as the director of the Third World Program and RISD's first administrator in charge of recruiting Black students. Operation Pilgrimage began, and by 1970, the Minority Recruitment Program launched, but not before another demand. By March 1970, the infamous "We Demand" letter, more scholarships for students to attend RISD from around the country, and also specifically scholarships for Providence and Rhode Island students. You see, what's really important about this moment, this class, you see, 1968, Martin Luther King was murdered, assassinated, and it's a pivotal marker for change in the design industry, not only at RISD, but at the art and design industry out of New York City. It was the beginning major art and design trade publications began asking the question, where are the Black designers? The advocacy began to formulate with the design industry attention and recognizing that there were Black designers not represented and not being afforded equitable opportunity. The graphic design industry in 1968 began looking for Black designers. It was RISD's own Professor Marla Ryder responded to both the charge here at RISD and to New York cadre and the profession. Best known as RISD's professor of painting and illustration and collage, was on the selection committee for now the infamous Dorothy Hayes exhibition, Black Artists in Graphic Communication. Beginning in 1969, Ryder became a part of the Hayes exhibition, planning and selecting the committee, the art for the show, and by 1970, the show had launched and found its way to Wood's Gary Mansion for all to see. Barry Gaither and Maurice Burns curated directions in the work of Black American Artists Lectures in October and May. By 1970, the RISD student demand letter had moved the needle of time to this very point in history. The first administrators for recruiting and admitting and even caring for more students of color took root. My parents were able to afford the tuition, so my scholarship, possibly appointed to my admissions, was repurposed to another student. And I was a part of the entering class of Black and Puerto Rican students invited to study at RISD. It was the response to the student 1970 demand for more diversity. See, diversity was pretty monochromatic then. The needle moved to basically build a more robust Black and white student body. I passed the RISD drawing exam. I landed on RISD's beach, and here we are. Life happened. Freshman Foundation, 1970, Thanksgiving. Papa was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Cheryl, your father will be dead in 10 months. The prognosis was most accurate. 2 weeks before returning for my sophomore year, he died. Professor Torres and Mrs. Ford helped me to get to MICA. I couldn't leave my mother in DC by herself. That summer, on his deathbed, I could hear his probable prayer. Lord, I want the best for my family. I want the best for Cheryl. He died not knowing what my future would be. Today, RISD, you answered his prayer for me to graduate with this honor, from the Rhode Island School of Design. It took a minute, but we are here and you are here. Now, 52 years later, it took the death of another Black man, George Floyd, and again another student demand letter to awaken our social consciousness. In 52 years, your demands for diversity have moved the needle once again toward a far more reaching palette of all colors to include a family of leadership, faculty, and students from around the globe, to welcome those who identify themselves in their own truest expressions of love and fall in love with whomever they desire. For a better RISD for today, we must try our best to further become the best RISD we can be now and for the future. I wanted you to know that where we are now began with my class and the class of 1970. This is your oral tradition. This, Director Joshua, is your documentary. Class of 2022, 2020, we share a few things in common. We just wanted to learn to draw and paint. We wanted the best when we applied to RISD. We were selected out of the best applicants. We passed the RISD drawing exam. We began our journey here, our cornerstone freshman foundation moment. You must know your past in order to see the vision for tomorrow. Today, we break open my cornerstone freshman foundation moment to discover the time capsule of events that would lead us to this moment, our today, our capstone moment, the place where the finishing touch, the capstone, sets the building in place. We share the beginning of a new building of the same foundation from a setting of the cornerstone. I have traveled all this way, a living timeline, to share this very zenith moment of setting this, your capstone, in place. I was there then, and with you now. When my father agreed with my choice to attend RISD, he said one thing to me: Cheryl, I will support you with whatever you want to do. Just be the best. Well, Papa, I'm not sure if I'm the best, but I surely have tried my best. Professor Torres wore many hats: assistant to the president, dean of students, counseling, on-the-road recruiter, sculptor. He was moved that an artist would be called into RISD's administration. He wanted us to understand the nature of being the best. He wrote in the first issue of the student newsletter, October 1969, if a school desires to be the best, then we must all somehow drop the notion that we are so bad. Now let me translate that. That kind of means we have to drop the notion that we aren't so dope. That's what he meant. That we can't be so high and mighty in our little area that no one can touch us. The only way to be the best, he says, is to communicate that we haven't arrived yet, but we are trying harder than anybody else. Professor Torres was warning us not to become complacent because of RISD's best brand, affording possibly an easier access to the journey. I have been blessed to have experienced studying at some of the best colleges and universities in North America. RISD, we have had our demanding moments, which have brought us to trying harder to remain one of the best art and design colleges around the globe and in North America. I was recently talking to my daughter about her GPA And does she think, well, are you going to be wearing a cord of colors for your graduation? We were talking about the different colors and what they mean. She smiled and says, Mom, you know, when you have a 4.0 GPA, it's harder because you have to keep it and maintain it than it is to work your way up to the 4.0 mark. Being one of the best ranked art colleges, RISD, we must stay on top of the best brand. Graduates, we start again with new beginnings. You must maintain the best brand in everything you do. When engaged in theological studies at the Union Theological Study, we theologians coin a phrase, eat the fish and spew out the bones. RISD, we have endured a season of challenges, disappointments, and even possible injustices and demands for wishes of things that could have been better. Well, we have good news. We have not been overtaken by perilous situations of our dispensation. We take the best of it all and leave the rest behind. My Union Theological graduation, President Holland Lee Hendricks said to us, make sure every time you speak or write or engage in your ministry or service to others, let it reflect that you have passed through these walls. You will be known by your critical excellence. With all of this said, class of 2022 and 2020, I did my best so you could do better. If I could defy Jim Crow trying to steal my portfolio, you can do better. Replace my best efforts with your best excellence, and know that one of you, under the sound of my voice, will stand right here and rehearse this oral tradition to a future commencement audience yet to arrive. You'll remember this day. It might take another 52 years, but remember this moment and pass it to the next generation, RISD graduates. Pass this story forward. Do better than I could have ever done in my generation. Be the best you can be all the time and build the best brand. Rebrand tomorrow by doing your best now. Just try to be the best. May your future success reflect that you passed through the studios of the Rhode Island School of Design. I was in graphic design yesterday, the studios and the show and the graduate show. We are creators of divine candy. Oh my goodness, is all I could say. Keep the demands demanding. Demand the best for yourselves that you may serve others. Demand for the best outcome. Demand that success meets your opportunity of preparedness. You will be known by the best brand by having passed through the Academy of the Rhode Island School of Design. So if you're gonna demand, keep demanding for the best in the outcome of all you desire. Here are my best practices. Listen carefully. I look deeply within and deeply without. I identify only one, the one void that must be filled. And I believe with my whole heart that I'm the best and the only one who can fill it. No one else can do what I'm doing, and no one else can do what you're doing. Get in touch with that. I discover where I can be the first one to try to accomplish the task. I'm not going to be the only one, but I look to see, am I going to be the first one, the best one to accomplish the task impossible? Then I work endlessly and tirelessly to complete the mission impossible. I keep going and going and going until it's completed, no matter how long it takes. 52 years is a long time. Class of 2022, I have the audacity of hope that you are the best one to fill any impossible assignment. Know you are the best in having tried to be the best, whether the results are of the best outcome or not. Try everything you know to be the utmost and the very best at giving your art to the world. Remember, the gift is easy. That's just what it is. It's a gift. What you do with the gift is difficult. That's what might make you give up what to do with the gift. But just do your best to prosper it, multiply it. Prospering your gift is your gift in return to the giver of gifts. RISD, I've tried my best, so you can do better. Here is your charge, class of 2022, 2020. Living your life is your story. Living your life for others is your legacy. Leave the best legacy possible. I did my best so you could do better. Be better than the history I have traveled through. Make your history far more welcoming and inclusive for everyone you encounter. Be the best instrument of grace, mercy, and peace that you can be. Class of 2022 and 2020, just take Papa's advice. If you're going to do this, well, just be the best, and that you are. My graduates, I'm proud of you. You've endured arduous times, and if you can pass through these waters, you have achieved the best possible success in this very moment by graduating from the Rhode Island School of Design, the best today for a better tomorrow in you, for yet to create. I have two more reflections. I have just two more. One more thing I want to say. I want to leave you with a theological reflection, President Williams. When you were yet born, the RISD class of 1970, on your way, the class of 1970 demanded. Their demands were met by the time you were born, fall of 1970. I had just arrived at RISD as a freshman, first fruits of their demands. Madam President, they had a vision for yet another future demand. It took us both 52 years to arrive to this strategic moment for such a time as this moment of commencement 2022 and 2020. May we all demand the best. Class of 2022, congratulations again. I'm sorry I cannot pay your student debt off. Can't do that. But I can give you a promise. I can give you a promise that I'll keep. From the 1970 Billboard Hot List song playlist, I'll be your bridge over troubled water. Because there ain't no mountain high enough. And always remember, I'll be there. 1970, God bless you, God keep you, demand the best. Please do better than I could ever do. That's your documentary. Hold true to that biblical theological name of Joshua. May we go on to the other side. Don't make me preach it just because I'm a theologian. God bless you.